In the largest Minecraft Civilization event ever held, I spread 1,000 players across the 3 Minecraft dimensions to find out which dimension is the best place to create a thriving civilization. Building amazing civilizations isn't going to be easy though, as if you die, you're dead forever. As the ultimate test of each civilization's strength, Day 8 is Doomsday, where the portals will open, allowing players to invade other dimensions in an all-out interdimensional war. To find out which dimension will be victorious, sit back, relax, and pick a team to root for as I present to you the 1,000 Players Dimension Civilization Experiment. Now that the players have begun spawning in, it's become immediately clear which dimension has the most challenging start. How are you finding the Nether?
It's hell. It's awful. It's so bad.
What have you done to us, Marcus?
Now, the Nether, as you probably know, is an absolute nightmare. The players have to contend with lava everywhere, fire, and some very dangerous neighbors. And that's not even taking into consideration the huge problem of starvation.
I am so hungry.
Not only is there nothing to eat, but one of the only edible mobs, Hoglins, eats you. As you can imagine, considering the players have absolutely nothing at the start, it's a total slaughter. I must quickly say, I'm not intentionally punishing these players. These lunatics actually chose to go to the Nether in their application forms, so it's not my fault. Despite the widespread suffering, there are some players that are thriving though. A few brave players that are raiding bastions far from spawn are quickly becoming the wealthiest players in the Nether. However, it's a risky business.
Solar, run!
Speaking of businesses, one player, called Perspective, has huge ambitions to become the richest businessman in the Nether. I didn't yet know what his genius plan was. However, I did know that his entire operation all hinged on the success of one thing, creating a way to get up and down from the Nether roof. And to do that, Perspective has invented this. Now, if this contraption doesn't succeed, Perspective's entire plan will be for nothing.
It's the contraption. This allows us to go on the roof and down from the roof, and no one on the internet knows about this. Okay, listen. This requires precise coordination, okay? Without precise coordination, the top guy dies and this whole plan falls apart.
Let's do this.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah,
all right. I need somebody to give the initial push.
I'll do it.
Going to space.
Alright, gang. If I die, it's been an honor. Send it.
What the hell? Wait.
Okay.
Push. Are you up?
Oh, we did it!
Oh my god.
Give it the push.
Okay. That's
You're down. Oh my god.
How cool is this, though? How insanely cool is this?
It was after the successful testing of this frankly genius method was complete that Perspective told me his brilliant plan to create the most profitable business in the Nether. His group of employees, which he calls the Roofers, have collected the Nether's only supply of warped fungus to ensure that they have a total monopoly on the growth of warped trees and the sale of warped Nether wood.
We're gonna do a monopoly. He's the only person who has this.
This means that they can sell warped wood to the Blowers, their name for anyone living under the roof, for extortionate prices to hugely enrich themselves at the expense of everyone else. We'll have to come back and check in on Perspective later. Now it's time to meet the overworld. The overworld is of course a far safer dimension than the Nether, which has allowed the players here to do whatever they want with very few natural dangers to stop them. Now, despite the players having the freedom to do whatever they please, I was rather surprised when I came across what looked like a town of round wooden houses. When I asked Henry West, the leader of this community, what was going on, this was his response.
Allow me to tell you through the medium of throat singing.
It turns out that this community was actually the beginnings of a Mongolian Khanate, which is effectively a Mongolian tribe that's ruled by a supreme leader called a Khan. And all the round houses were in fact meant to be yurts.
We're going to build our yurts here so we can get drunk and start riding horses.
I was rather impressed as to how quickly they'd set up their Mongolian Khanate. However, I was a bit shocked to find out how Henry had obtained all of his materials so fast.
Anyone under the age of 15, get yourselves into the map. mines. We can't mine
It's
it.
child labor.
Well, that's the thing.
that's a bit of a
You
weird
say
term, I would
that's
say that.
child labor. Look what happens. We ban child labor, then all of you are on Minecraft. You children yearn for the mines.
Yeah.
It was after learning this dark secret that Henry invited me to attend a meeting where the elders of the tribe plan to elect a Khan to rule over them.
Was it not I who led you here? Was it not I who envisioned this glorious Mongolian tribe? Yurts spanning as far as the eye could see, open plains, etc. Remember, gentlemen, as the motto is, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
After all the candidates were heard, and each member of the tribe had cast their vote, it was no surprise as to who had won.
Henry West, you have been elected by the majority and are thus chieftain of our tribe. Congratulations.
And for my first edict as the tribal leader, this current high has now ended. Let's all go to the bar and get absolutely smashed.
Meanwhile, on the far side of the overworld, the two other settlements had been formed. First, there's Aurin, and secondly, along its coast, is the separate nation of Gaia. It was all going well, with both nations progressing nicely. All until a player from Gaia, called Potato King, tried to steal Aurin's only cow.
Potato King, stop taking the cows.
He just killed the cow! He just killed the cows! Potato King came over and killed the cows.
Alright, execute the man.
This is literally war now.
The death of their only cow hit the citizens of Aurin very hard, and they swore they'd get revenge on Gaia for the heinous crime. Gaia, fearing a military retaliation from Aurin over the cow, voted to exile Potato King and his followers in hopes of saving themselves. Potato King and his friends were outraged that they'd been banished from their homes and craved revenge of their own against both Aurin and Gaia, which leads us to this meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Potato King. Potato King and his band of men were from a neighboring city across the hills and across the plains. Potato was drastically and tragically forced out of his own city by traitors within his ranks, and now they turn to us for support. Tell us your story, Potato.
I've come here to ask for asylum from the great Henry West and help to take back our lands.
I have confirmed intelligence that the people they are talking about do indeed hate our way of life, hate our freedom, and hate the great plains to which the Khanate call home. Now, gentlemen, I'm offering you this. I'll be entirely honest with you. They want their home back. I want to use cavalry. How does that sound, gentlemen?
Sounds great.
Amazing.
I propose a horse-born invasion. We will reclaim their land for them, and in the process, secure allies.
And so, over the death of a single cow, on day one, it now looked like the main communities of the overworld were already on the brink of war. Now, it's time we meet our third and final dimension, the end. Immediately after spawning in, the players realize they aren't alone. In an attempt to flee the Ender Dragon, players bridged over to the other islands.
I say we just ditch the main island.
On which they hope they'd find safety. However, they quickly found that their new neighbors are a bit shy and don't like to be looked at. And that was only a problem for the people who made it to the other islands. Many didn't even get that far.
Right. Oh, someone just fell into the void. I just witnessed a death.
Now, the end has a big disadvantage compared to the other dimensions. You see, because it's made up of floating islands, there isn't actually that much land, which means all 333 players in the end have to struggle to compete over the limited amount of ores and, more importantly, food.
I'm on half a hunger. I'm about to die.
Unfortunately, in a scramble to feed themselves, players in the end have stolen the majority of the chorus plants, leading to a dimension-wide famine.
I'm dying.
This has forced players to work together to create and protect precious chorus farms, without which they know they have no chance of survival. It was this shared hunger and need to carefully plan the farming of food that led to the formation of the first societies in the end, with each island becoming its own self-contained community. And it soon became clear that the bigger your island was, the more resources you would have access to. that's making your community stronger.
We need to expand somewhere.
Expand the empire.
And the biggest island of them all is the Center Island, making it a very attractive area to colonize for ambitious players seeking to start their own nations. However, currently, the Center Island is occupied.
Bring it down, bring it down.
In the bid to make the Center Island a safe place to live, a huge group of players formed up and waged a battle against the dragon. Eventually, after many players gave their lives, the Ender Dragon was defeated. Meaning the Center Island is free real estate, but who will be bold enough to claim it? Well, one player in particular, Tamer, believes that the Center Island is the perfect place to bring his grand ambitions into fruition. You see, Tamer, along with his partner Power, have been watching the impoverished people of the End, observing their struggle to survive, and have come up with a plan to generate immense wealth for themselves and anyone else who will follow them. They plan to build what Tamer calls the Iron Bank. The center for finance, trade, and monopolization of key resources in the end. And around this bank, Tamer has ambitions to construct a grand free city.
The free city is going to be the largest city in the end.
A home for all those that work at the Iron Bank and share his values of wealth through freedom and strength. Tamer hopes to build a grand temple, a military barracks to guard the bank, large farms to feed all, and most importantly, to build a flourishing economy through player-owned businesses. However, it's only day one, and there's still a long way for Tamer to go to reach his grand goals. And so, by the end of day one, we have two ambitious businessmen, Tamer in the end, and Perspective in the nether, both willing to go to any length to amass personal wealth at any cost. We'll have to see how successful both of them are, and how they affect not only the players around them, but the futures of the Dimensions themselves in the coming days. It's now day 2, and I'm very keen to find out how Henry's Mongolian Khanate is doing in the overworld. Especially because the last time we saw them, it seemed like the major overworld nations were on the brink of war, with Henry's Mongols planning a horse-borne invasion of Aurian over the whole Potato King cow debacle. However, despite this, it seems some players in the overworld have been spreading anti-war propaganda. No war, we want peace, corruption.
That's hippies.
Hippies?
Yeah, it's hippies. You know, the long-haired people who never wash and...
Despite Henry not agreeing with the so-called hippies campaigning for peace, he does see the logic in not sacrificing Mongol lives over foreign arguments, and so held a meeting calling off the horseborn invasion.
I'm not having the people of the Khanate die over things that quite frankly aren't our business. We don't want to use our horses in violence, at least not yet.
Now, even though he's called off the imminent invasion, Henry and the elders of the tribe plan to expand their horse archer military, a famed part of Mongol strength and culture. But to do that, he's going to need horses, which is why Henry and the elders have gathered here on this floating island to conduct a ritual to their Mongolian god, Ubashakun, in order to please him into gifting them more horses.
Our leader, Henry West, must eat as many beetroots as possible and run around this temple that floats in the sky. So we shall begin this ritual now.
Oh god, I'm not hungry enough for this.
Run until you're hungry.
I'm running! This isn't a sleep.
Over, shark.
Why did I ever take leadership? How many beetroots do I have left? 7 to eat! 7 more to eat! I've done it! I've done it! The feats are eaten! I've eaten the feats, White Elder!
He's done it.
Yes! We have horses! Praise the Lushakun!
On the morning of day 2, I was beginning to hear rumors that some kind of mega build was under construction in the end, and you'll never guess who was building it. Avoma, the player who had built a massive wall in my last video, to the dismay of his teammates, has for some reason decided to build a gigantic Rubik's Cube.
We built a wall. I'm going to try and build a Rubik's Cube.
Really?
Giant one. A giant one. Yeah.
Hopefully this time he doesn't anger any locals. It turns out Avoma wasn't the only player making progress though, as elsewhere 2 players, Rojo and Broken, have opened their new brewery for business.
The brewery gate is getting along very well.
Their main product, Vodka, is very popular with their customers. However, despite their business thriving, they inform me that tragically their cow has died.
We've just had one small issue. Cow dies. Yeah, come over here. I made a memorial for him.
Where are you going to get your Vodka from now that your cow's died?
Oh, no. We never actually got it off the cow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait. Where did you get it from then?
He knows too much.
There's also a brand new nation forming called the Sunseekers, which, as the name suggests, are a group of players whose one goal is to flee the dark void-filled end and to journey to the overworld to see the sun.
We're gonna enjoy the sun. We want the sun so badly.
Overall, at the start of day 2, all the emerging end nations were starting to really prosper. Tamer's free city is especially flourishing. His builders are making excellent progress on their grand temple to the Void God. His farmers are doing a great job supplying food to the nation, and most of the citizens feel quite safe under the protection of the Iron Bank guards. Despite things all seeming rather peaceful in the end, under the surface, it's a different story. You see, the second largest nation in the end, Elysia, led by a player named Yuri, is starting to get frustrated with the Free City, as they believe that Tamer's nation is unfairly seizing all of one key resource, new players that log onto the server each day. Now, the reason that they feel this way is that Tamer's Free City lies right on top of spawn when new players first log on, which gives Tamer a huge advantage when it comes to swaying new players to join his nation and not to join Elysia.
I think you joining the city would be a nice add and touch to bring more life to the end. What do you think?
That would be actually great for us.
Yuri, wanting to strengthen Elysia by luring in more players, has made his people build a bridge directly from spawn in the Free City to Elysia, and has placed both Elysia representatives and signs at the end of the bridge in order to attract new players away from the Free City and to Elysia.
It's gonna be new players, so just make sure those get food and get suggestively directed towards our area.
And it wasn't long until Tamer found out.
We have an intruder in our land. Yuri came over and started advertising. We don't like to see that. We don't like to see that at all.
And confronted Yuri.
He's wearing a crown. He's wearing a crown.
The things he's him.
Yeah, take off the crown, Yuri. Take off the crown. Why exactly are you standing above us? You think you're better than us? Is that the case?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Really?
But no, I just feel like it's unfair to. What is no man's land? It's spawn. Look, that symbolizes spawn.
No, this is our land. We took it.
A wise man once said, "What are you gonna do about it?"
You've come over here, with your 5 guards. It seems like you're trying to intimidate people into joining. You're trying to force their choice.
No,
you know what's fine. You guys can remove the pathway.
Oh, you want?
Is it settled then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yuri, realizing he's outnumbered, has retreated back to Elysia, meaning the confrontation is over. However, the situation between both the Free City and Elysia couldn't be more tense. Tamer has realized that in order to reach his goals of a Grand Iron Bank and strong Free City, he will need to eliminate all of his competition to ensure that new players join him and no one else, meaning that Yuri has to go. Now, elsewhere in the end, there's a strange pattern occurring. Mysteriously, all of the animals in the end are dying.
Marcus, someone killed all my chickens.
The Free City farmers that I spoke to are especially upset.
You feel me? We in the end, we don't got a lot of animals. So when we magically had a cow and then magically had a pig, we was excited, boy. Man, we was ecstatic. We was like, we lit is up. We about to farm. Come to find out, somebody took them. And when I mean took, I mean killed. Took them to God.
But what's happening to the animals? Why are they dying? Wilding, the leader of a small village just outside the Free City, has told me he's the one responsible for the animal massacre.
I killed all the cows over at the mainland over there. So no more cows. Yeah, that was me. And then I killed all the chickens as well.
You see, Wilding has a good reason for this seemingly random animal slaughter. Earlier in the day, a group of rogues from Yuri's Elysia raided Wilding's village, stealing from his chests, killing his livestock, and griefing his buildings for blocks. This raid on his land has made Wilding hungry for revenge against Yuri's Elysia.
They came to our land trying to steal our Hell no.
And to do that, he's been killing animals from neighboring nations, including Tamer's Free City, in hopes of getting these nations to think it's Yuri's nation doing the animal killing, to provoke these settlements into attacking Elysia.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blame it on them and I'll make the mainland to kill them.
Oh, thus using other nations to achieve his revenge for him.
Exactly. They wronged me. I can't allow that to just happen. I have to do something about it.
However, Tamer, being the practical man he is, soon found out about Wilding's little plot to provoke him into attacking Elysia. But instead of being angry at Wilding for slaughtering Free City animals, Tamer saw an opportunity. He realized Wilding could potentially be a valuable asset, as they both have a mutual enemy. And so, Tamer invited Wilding to a meeting where they formulated a genius plan to dispose of Yuri. And here is that plan. Tamer, despite having more men than Yuri, knows that attacking Elysia would likely result in heavy casualties, and he isn't comfortable with making his free city weaker. And so, to get around this, he has made allies with various other settlements in the end, such as the Sunseekers that I mentioned earlier.
With you, we would be a force to be reckoned with.
For me personally, that would be awesome. That will strengthen our defense.
Nice.
Tamer's guards, alongside the troops of his allies, are nearly double the strength of Yuri's, and could easily crush them at any moment. So why don't they just march over to Elysia and obliterate it? Well, Tamer's hands are tied, as his allies have made it absolutely clear that they won't be part of any attack, and will only come to Tamer's help in the event that Yuri is the one who attacks first. Thus, Tamer, to destroy Elysia, needs to provoke Yuri into attacking the Free City. Which is why I was very surprised when Tamer invited Yuri to a peace meeting. It was after Yuri made his way over to the Free City with his best troops, leaving Elysia barely protected, that the peace meeting began.
Then, if everyone has taken a seat, then we can quickly start this off and get this over with. Welcome everyone to this grand meeting at the center of the end. We need to get rid of all the animosity going on because that only works if we don't kill each other and work together for once. So Yuri, would you be so kind to step forward first?
My nation was very, very concerned about rising tensions. But I do think that people should be allowed to do as they please on the main island.
First of all, thank you for bringing out all your issues. What I would like to answer to that is... Just had to, resolve all the issues, Yuri.
Yeah, that's got me satisfied.
Lovely. Thank you all for coming. Thanks that we could finally resolve the issues that all the leaders had in mind, and we can finally work together and be as progressive as possible. Cheers, alright?
It was after returning from the peace meeting that Yuri learnt of Wilding's rampage through his nation, and he was furious. In his anger, vowing to his people to not rest until Wilding's head is on a spike above their new capital building. However, to do that, Yuri will need to invade the Free City, as right after the peace meeting, Tamer officially brought Wilding under his protection, and accepted him into his nation. And so, for Yuri to fulfill his promise of justice to his people, he must attack the Free City, giving Tamer enough reason to call upon his allies to utterly crush Elysia.
And then later on, they will need someone to blame. And when they figure out that with the tension arising, and they blame Wilding and move against him, we have all the reason to declare open war against them, instead of, us making the first move.
It seems, by the end of day 2, the end is on the brink of war.
Because the tensions are really high with Yuri's team and the Spawn team. They're on the brink of war.
All according to Tamer's plan. Meanwhile, up on the nether roof, Perspective's operation is in full swing, with his roofers having harvested stacks and stacks of warped wood, ready to be sold to the blowers.
Factory begins!
The factory!
This is the most valuable thing in the server. Hey, guys, how much you love working on the scale of 1 to 10?
We love it, we love it.
10.
We love working. We live for this.
I love getting fed.
This is just the build-up. It's just the beginning.
However, it turns out that Perspective has been working on another business venture on the roof, a perilously high mob farm.
We're making a farm, man!
From which he can extract valuable pork chops to sell to the blowers.
Get out! Get out!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god. Now, since the start of day 1, the main way the people of the Nether have been getting their food is through a new mob that I've added to their dimension, the Nether Mushroom, from which you can obtain unlimited mushroom stew.
You got a mushroom,
There's a mushroom, get a mushroom.
I have so much stew now.
However, to make it harder for them, there are only a few of them, which makes these couple of mushrooms incredibly important to the survival of all the players in the Nether. And Perspective, being the ruthless businessman that he is, sees an opportunity. By ordering his followers to kill the mushroom cows supplying the main settlements with food, he can now sell his pork chops for ridiculous prices to the desperate people of the Nether. Or so he thought, as he hadn't accounted for one man, a player called Defenders for Life. You see, Defenders for Life has started his own bar named Hell's Vibes, from which he aims to give out free mushroom stew to feed the starving people of the Nether.
The objective right now is to feed as many people as possible. It's either we all starve to death or we all live in this hellscape.
But where is Defenders getting his supply of stew from? Well, in a very wise move, Defenders had hidden chests fully stocked with mushroom stew around his bar, having expected someone to sabotage the mushroom.
The thing is, we stockpiled at least a couple of dozens of chestfuls.
And selflessly, he's been giving out his stockpiles of stew to anyone who asks, even going as far as to send his bar employees on delivery runs to each settlement to make sure that everyone is well fed.
We're going to be supplying food for probably the foreseeable future.
It's due to this generous charity that Defenders is quickly becoming a very well-liked figure across all the settlements. Defenders isn't the only player who's been gaining in popularity though. The founder of the main settlement in the Nether, Dufsin, who, during the start of day 1, when there had been mass confusion and chaos, had confidently brought order about quickly by giving people clear directions and advice on how to survive.
If you need food, come to me.
This all led to Dufsin amassing quite a lot of followers, with which comes jealousy from other players who desire leadership. You see, a sinister plot is brewing. Someone in the Nether sees Dufsin as an obstacle to obtaining power for themselves. And the only way to remove that obstacle is by hiring an assassin.
He died. He's dead.
Somehow, Dufsin survived the attempt on his life and successfully turned the tables, eliminating the assassin himself. It isn't clear exactly who had been behind the hiring of the assassin, but with a Grand Nether election planned to take place just around the corner, Dufsin needs to watch his back. Now, Dufsin isn't the only aspiring election candidate though. A duo, Squiddy and Whale, have been going around from settlement to settlement, making deals with regional leaders, promising various things in a bid to get groups of players to lend them their votes.
Hey everybody! I have made a great deal, pretty much solidifying me and Whale's presence as the leaders in the main faction of the Nether.
How did you manage to convince them?
He's got away with words, my Squiddy. He's got away with words.
And it's actually working. Squiddy and Whale have made a deal with Defenders Bar in return for the votes of his employees, guaranteeing him safer roads and security so that he can more safely carry out his mushroom stew relief missions to other settlements.
For this contract will solidify a continuous flow of supplies in exchange for tips, advertisements, and security.
They've also made a deal with the leader of an emerging settlement called the Netherlands, a nation dedicated to mimicking the real-life Dutch nation.
Oh, Lime, what's up, man? It's good to see you.
I give you a customary Dutch gift. Some clogs.
Some clogs! Putting these on right now.
Squiddy and Whale have promised the Netherlands full independence from the capital in exchange for their votes in the election.
Will you vote for us? And will you put your confidence in us to make the Nether great?
Which they have happily agreed to.
I have something better than my word. These are some clogs made in the Netherlands.
All in all, this means that going into the election, Whale and Squiddy have some serious voting power behind them.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Nether 2024 elections. I'm your host, the one and only Jack, and we are here to decide the new boss, the new king of hell itself. It's gonna be great. We've got a fantastic selection of some amazing people.
Now, there are a lot of candidates eager to become leader. However, everyone knows that there are only really two main choices, Dufsin and the Squiddy and Whale duo.
Next up is Dufkin.
Okay, people of the Nether, I got a question. Has any great nation ever fallen from the outside? Every great nation has fallen from the inside. Every single one. Because of inner conflict. Everybody wants...
is someone tried to bed bomb Duffson mid-speech, but amusingly, Duffson just sort of shrugged it off and continued, without the slightest sign of concern.
Anyways, as I was saying, look at us, we're united. We stand together, we built this in one day, and that is all thanks to you guys. If I am elected, I will make sure that it never stays united throughout the entire event.
With Duffson's speech over, his only competition took the podium.
Next up, we have the great, the fabulous, the wonderful Captain Squiddy and his friend Whalefins.
Once me and Whale have been elected, we will be starting on things immediately. Not only will I be assigning a team to help with Defender, those roads will be built immediately after the election.
And gentlemen, whilst he is doing that, I will be ensuring that I can provide all of you the necessary security. I just want to make sure there'll be no more bed bombing under my watch. There'll be no more killing of cows under my watch. I will build a military. And you know what? Remember this. You're going to get 2 brains for the price of 1 vote.
2 different perspectives to lead the Nether to ultimate greatness.
With all the speeches concluded, the people casted their votes, and Whale and Squiddy, with the backing of the votes from the deals they had made, narrowly beat Duffson and won the election. After they were officially sworn in as rulers of the Nether, I held an interview with them, where they told me something I didn't expect.
Those assassination attempts were all, it may have been us on every single one of them.
Wait, even the Chem one?
Even the Chem one where he tried to assassinate Duffson? Yeah,
Really?
it was all a plan. So what we wanted was we wanted Duffson to kind of quiet down when he was talking to everybody so we could kind of go back in and make our voices be known. The explosion was me. The explosion was actually me. I didn't actually tell Whale about that. It was supposed to kill him.
Who are you?
Yes, so it turns out, unbeknownst to everyone in the Nether, the duo who they had just elected into power, Squiddy and Whale, were responsible for the assassination attempts on Duffson. Considering they were willing to go to those lengths to obtain leadership, I'm rather worried about the fate of the average Nether citizen going forward, knowing the true character of their new rulers. It's now the start of day 3, and the people of the end have been greeted by a terrifying sight.
Why is the dragon here? We gon' die. We gon' die.
I honestly have absolutely no idea how this happened, but through some kind of bug, the Ender Dragon is back.
Oh my god, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. I'm about to die. Oh my god. Get him. Get him. Get him.
Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Come on, you fat bastard, win. He's going down.
He's going down. He's going down. Get ready. Bring it down. Let's go. Get that boy. Get that boy. Get that boy. Let's go.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the end, Avoma has been hard at work building his Rubik's Cube.
Hello, the Rubik's Cube is going good. It was just me building it yesterday, but now I've got 2 more people on to help.
Well, I must say, so is that Batman?
Batman! I don't know who that is.
However, Avoma's neighbors aren't as enthusiastic about their new view.
It looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, Jesus Christ, now I see it. Oh!
You see the correction.
Can you, like, edit it out, a picture?
Over at the Free City's Grand Temple to the Void God, Tamer is carrying out the next step in his plan to provoke Yuri's Alicia into attacking them. Because, if you remember, Tamer can't outright attack Alicia without turning his allies against him.
Pulling up with an army is not the right response. If Yuri declares war to you, we would side with you.
I fully appreciate it.
So he's forced to bait Yuri into being the aggressor. And so he's currently in the process of pardoning Wilding of all the crimes he committed on day 2.
Pardon their sins.
I'm a change man. I have not committed crime since yesterday.
Wilding, son, you have sinned. You wish to confess.
I've murdered quite a few.
Now step into the holy water and rise anew, and declare thee absolved of all sin. You have sinned. Do you wish to confess?
I confess to the murder and 30 cows.
What?
We did some What we just did is we abolished my sin. So now if they try to attack me, they're basically declaring war on the Free City.
And it seems Tamer's religious pardoning is having the desired effect. Over in Alicia, Yuri desperately wants Wilding to answer for his crimes, and is furious at the Free City for simply pardoning him with what he feels is no punishment.
We are going after the culprits and they will be apprehended. I just want to see him dead or put in prison for all I care.
This frustration with welding in the Free City has pushed Yuri right to his breaking point, just as Tamer wants.
Well, I'll be going over with Tamer and his people to hopefully come to an agreement. Even if we don't get permission, war might break out, but I don't.
No one is forcing you to march with us today, alright? If you do not want to fight, you may leave now. So, good day, Yuri.
Yesterday, before or during the meeting, our city was brutally grieved and several of our people were slain. And I will not stand for that. I will allow them to have a fair trial if they follow us, and if not, we will have them killed.
We've seen what happened, and because of the peace summit yesterday, and because we wanted to help out, we've done your work, and we've taken them, given them the trial they deserve. We've cleansed them in a religious way, in a very clean and fair way.
Well, so you want to let them go? There's no punishment.
They have faced their punishment. We're done with it.
Oh, I'm not done with this. We just want him.
Well, our God has spoken. He's been cleansed of his sins.
What? The God that you made up?
No.
Whoa. Did you say our God was wait. Just out of curiosity, right? What if we don't let him go over to you? What if we just say no?
Like insane.
What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna go to war?
They're not handing me over. I'm not going. Unless you want to take me by force, get the out of here.
All right, then we will.
Despite Tamer's best attempts to bait Yuri into starting a violent conflict, Yuri knows he'd definitely lose an all-out battle with the Free City and its allies.
I'll be brutally honest, it did not turn out the way it was supposed to. We all know that. Needless to say, I am very, very upset. He will pay one way or another. We will take him by force if we need to. I am not gonna rest until we get revenge for what they did.
And so, despite really wanting to get justice for what Wilding did, knows he can't. At least, not yet.
Let this be known. If Yuri and all those people over there should deem themselves to be fit to be the aggressors instead, we will be ready, and we will be destroying them, no matter what.
Meanwhile, in the overworld, Henry's Mongolian Khanate is about to conduct a raid on a KFC. You see, a core part of Mongolian culture is the idea that consuming weak birds, such as chickens, leads to a weak society. So, Henry has rallied a force to break into and shut down the KFC.
Right, food safety inspector, you're announcing he's under arrest.
Alright, people, surprise inspection, guys. Away, move it.
No, don't kill him. Don't kill him.
You resist?
He's under arrest. No.
He's resisting arrest. He's resisting arrest.
Right, gentlemen, you know what we have to do. Slaughter the mutant freaks.
Mine.
Now, it's about time I told you about the other nations that have been developing. Firstly, there's the raccoons, an underground society of self-described rodents that hoard junk and excavate tunnels.
Initial idea was just to have these tunnels as sort of big trash hoards.
So basically we're stealing stuff.
No, we're not stealing.
What?
You're not stealing.
There's actually been a little friction between the raccoons and one of Henry's Mongolians. Apparently, a Mongolian named Python ASMR, the player who was dubbed champion of the Khanate on day one by Henry himself, was caught red-handed by the raccoons, stealing their pigs, which led to one of the most bizarre and goofy court cases I've ever watched.
As a raccoon, me and pregnant dolphin returning from a long day in the mines when we heard noises from our pig farm. There we saw Python ASMR trying to steal our pigs.
Your Honor, I would like to object on the ground of incompetent witnesses.
Objection overruled.
He is a raccoon, and the defense has evidence that he may have rabies.
Look at chat. I'm dead for sure.
prosecution.
Meanwhile, Aaron and Gaia, the two other main nations of the overworld that we saw argue over the cow on day one, have merged together under the leadership of a player called Race Champ. All in all, both Aaron and Gaia are flourishing, each having developed their own impressive architecture, music, theatre, religion, agriculture, restaurants, therapy clinics, and even a popular pub where they hold stand-up comedy nights.
Did you ever hear about the reverse exorcism?
No.
It's when the devil tells the get out the
I can't put that on YouTube.
I need my money back.
Now, over in Mongolian territory, Henry is seeking to make amends for the whole nearly starting a war over a cow fiasco. So, in order to improve diplomatic relations with nearby nations, him and his fellow Mongols have been working on building what he calls the World Fair. A huge carnival filled with all sorts of Mongolian-themed attractions in order to show the other nations just how great Mongolian culture is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to our cultural festival. Let's activate the trebuchet. There we go.
Praise Umakatsun! Praise be!
Right, and with that, I announce the festival open.
The festival was wonderful. There were stalls offering all sorts of things. Private detective work, netherrack, therapy, and even religious baptisms.
You will be riding for our nation. Prove us well.
Stop! Oh, we got Ruben in the dead last. You got the slowest horse out of them all. For Ruben.
He's almost going up ahead.
Ruben is being left behind.
One more. And win!
There you go.
Congratulations, you ride like a true Mongolian, and with that we pronounce you the winner. You may keep your horse. Ruben, tough luck, and as your forfeit for losing, you have to eat the horse in front of the audience. 3, 2, 1, go! Start!
You can do this. Oh, we got
Absolute upset. Relief takes it. Double kill at the very end.
Oh, that was actually kind of heavy.
After the World Fair concluded and all the nations of the overworld returned to their respective homes, I left to go check on the other dimensions. But it wasn't long until I received messages telling me to hurry back to the overworld because something absolutely massive had just happened.
There he is.
A player named Seizure had just tried to assassinate Henry West, the leader of the Mongolian Khanate. However, he had failed, and the Mongolians don't intend to let him get away in one piece.
I'm on his tail. I'm very close.
He's in the castle. Kill him.
There he is. He's in the water. He's in the water.
He's diving down. Diving down. Chase him down. He's by the.
Got him.
Yeah.
Now that Seizure is dead, many began to wonder, why on earth would he attempt such a thing? Did someone hire him to carry it out? Well, it all became clear after Henry's soldiers discovered a book in Seizure's inventory. Although it wasn't a book, it was a contract for the assassination of Henry West, signed with one letter, R. Meanwhile, up on the nether roof, Perspective has been thinking. Originally, his sole goal was to become the wealthiest businessman in the nether through his total monopoly of the sale of warped nether wood. However, having seen the rise of Whale and Squiddy, the new leaders of the nether, he has been wondering, perhaps he could dream bigger. What if he could set these two new leaders against each other to bring about their downfall so that he can rise to take their place as the sole ruler of the nether? And luckily for Perspective, the perfect opportunity to begin sowing seeds of division between the two leaders has presented itself, as he's gotten word that the capital has discovered some precious warped nylium in the far corners of the nether, and Perspective has a plan to sabotage this high-value wood farm in order to both protect his business's monopoly, whilst also tearing the leadership of the nether apart. Whale is understandably outraged that all their warped nylium has been sabotaged.
These people took our stuff, they pillaged our lands. I ain't gonna stand for that no more. Now on that note, let's go kick some rear ends.
Squiddy, however, is more hesitant. He is encouraging everyone to be restrained, telling them that violence isn't the answer.
I think we all made it very clear that killing people here in the nether isn't something we should be doing.
Now, this sudden pacifism seems somewhat out of character to me, because as you know, Squiddy had absolutely no problem trying to assassinate assassinate Dufsin earlier in order to obtain power. And it turns out, Squiddy might be sympathetic towards the Roofers for a reason after all, as he met with Perspective earlier to discuss a business opportunity.
So, would you be fine if we were to set up an operation on the mainland in which people would come to buy certain products?
Perspective, my
people would
friends.
not-
I have the perfect person, Qualls Wonder and his company. They would be more than willing to do this for you. And I will talk to Qualls when I get back, and I will let him know.
That's right, Squiddy met with Perspective and negotiated a deal where he will take a cut of the profit from all the Wartwoods sold.
Me and Squiddy discussed this, and Squiddy he's willing to support us. We have to capitalize on that, you know? And if you look in the chest, we're ready to sell. We're hella ready to sell.
The thing is though, Squiddy clearly hasn't told Whale about this special arrangement he has with the Roofers, which makes me wonder, perhaps this leadership duo isn't as secure as it first seemed. Now this clear divide in intent between the leaders didn't stop Whale from taking action though. Having gotten word from an informant about a nearby illicit deal that was taking place, Whalefin sent his most trusted law enforcement agents to raid the area in order to seize any Warpwood contraband, illegally obtain profits, and to arrest any suspected roofers on the scene. During the raid, Whale captured 2 roofers, Solar and Rigatoni. These 2 roofers were quickly taken captive and marched back to the capital, where they were put on trial for their crimes against the people. Whale advocated that the 2 of them should be put to death in order to protect the people. However, Squiddy, likely with his self-interest in mind, pleaded to the jury to spare them, and instead to give them a sentence of hard labor. And this time, it was Squiddy who the people sided with, meaning that Sol and Rigatoni would be spared from Whale's justice for now. It's now day 4, and in the overworld, a great uncertainty has fallen upon the land. Despite what seemed like a stable peace between all the nations during the Grand World Fair on day 3, following the assassination attempt against Henry West, the leader of the Mongolians, no one is quite sure who is out for blood. But having found a contract signed with the letter R on the assassin's corpse, Henry himself is determined to get to the bottom of it, and has hired a private detective called Wolfram to conduct a thorough investigation.
We need to get you investigating as soon as we can to uncover the true culprit. It's going to be a tough case, detective.
Dirty world out there, and I'm going to clean this up.
Here's a forward payment.
Thank you very much.
See to it it's done. Also, if you know where we can find cocaine...
And so, Wolfram's investigation began. The first and only lead he has is the contract that was found on the assassin's corpse, which was signed with the letter R. Now, this left 2 main possibilities in Wolfram's mind. Either the Raccoons, the society of self-described underground trash-hoarding rodents, or the River Guild, the closest nation to the Mongolians, who live just across the icy river. What Wolfram needed to do now is discover a motive. Which of the suspects has the biggest reason to wanting Henry dead? The first suspects Wolfram went to investigate were the Raccoons. However, when he arrived, surprisingly, the Raccoons were keen to hire him to solve a crime of their own. You see, their entire base has been sabotaged.
Someone just came in and raided our entire base.
Why have they done that?
I have no idea, really. I don't think we've made any enemies yet. We're not sure who might have done this.
Gwack, the leader of the Raccoons, upset and confused as to who and why someone would grief their home, hired Wolfram to investigate the crime scene.
And this is the area that's been griefed. Ah, yes, it looks like a chest. Right, so if those items that from the chest that was broken are still present, then clearly this is a recent crime. The must still be at large.
Having left the Raccoons, Wolfram has been left confused, as although the Raccoons could still have been involved in Henry's assassination attempt, after meeting them, finding them rather friendly, and seeing how they've been victimized themselves, he is now unsure. Even stranger, he found evidence that the Mongols themselves could possibly have been involved in the sabotage. But now, his main focus and suspicion as to who hired the assassin turns to the River Guild, the nation closest in proximity to the Mongolian Khanate. Although from the outside, it looks as though diplomatic relations between the River Guild and Mongolians are strong, with both nations working on a joint statue project, displaying their 2 leaders shaking hands across the river. Wolfram knows that appearances can be deceiving, so he ventured into the River Guild to investigate. However, upon questioning them, he learned that they too had suffered recent crimes against them. Some of their most beloved members had been slaughtered by men on horseback, wielding bows and arrows. Wolfram went back to his private investigation firm's office and pondered all that he'd seen. The fact that the assassination attempt on Henry had occurred, that just a day later, both these peaceful nations had been pillaged, apparently by Mongolians, all seemed like too much of a coincidence for Wolfram to let go. He wondered if all these events could be connected. But how? And that was when 99-1 walked into his office.
Have we found out who's hired them yet?
Well, that's something a bit more complex. We do have evidence that they may be loosely associated with a certain race champ of...
That's right, Wolfram has concluded that the man responsible for the hiring of the assassin is Race Champ, the seemingly friendly leader of Aaron and Gaia. What 99-1 told Wolfram blew the lid of a grand conspiracy by Race Champ to kill Henry West and eradicate Mongol culture from the overworld.
I did, and my promise to the people was to make sure as many of them survive as possible. Under Henry's flag, that will not occur. And quite frankly, the only thing I regret is not having sent someone else over to assassinate him.
Here's what Race Champ did. Believing that Henry's Mongolians stand in the way of the overworld uniting as one against the other dimensions once the port was open, Race Champ ordered his second-in-command, Nix Lunari, to hire Seizure to assassinate Henry in order to cut the head off the Mongolian snake, so that the players loyal to the Mongolian culture would break away and join him instead. When the assassination attempt failed, Race Champ reached out to the members of both the Raccoons and the River Guild, inviting them to join him in destroying the Mongolians. However, the Raccoons and the River Guild refused, having strong ties with Henry, and left the meeting. Race Champ, fearful that his attempt to sway the Raccoons and the River Guild against Henry would become public information, sent a group of Auron's best troops disguised as Mongolians to kill anyone who attended the meeting, in order to tie up loose ends and stop the truth from getting out. However, unknown to Race Champ, he missed one player who attended the meeting.
Here I was hoping we could sing and drink. Right, I'm going to have to call it Kurotai. Thank you for your work, Detective. See you later.
You're welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the assassinations yesterday, both on ourselves and on the Raccoons and on the Riverlands, we have found that through investigation and testimony from the Raccoons, that there was a consistent and collaborated effort by Race Champ to cause turmoil amongst ours.
Wait, Race Champ?
Yes. Race Champ, through his spies, quickly got word that Henry had uncovered and shared his conspiracy with the other Mongolians, and knows that the only way he can stop his own people of Aaron and Gaia from finding out what he's done is to crush the Mongolians in an all-out invasion the following day. Now, over in the end, a certain giant Rubik's Cube has been completed. Hello, Avoma.
Hello, we finished it. We finished it.
I can see that. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it took so long. It's, I think, 102,000 blocks in total.
However, Avoma's disgruntled neighbors have added a little something to get back at him for ruining their view.
Marcus, have you seen his smiley face that we put on this cube?
Oh, wow. Over the past 4 days, Tamer's vision for a grand iron bank and free city have nearly come to pass. In the quickly growing free city, various player-owned shops and restaurants have started popping up. Religion is flourishing within the newly constructed temple to the Void God, the iron bank has nearly been completed, and the farms have been expanded to accommodate for all the new players joining the city. In fact, there are so many new players joining the city that the farmers have had to turn to some inhumane farming methods in order to keep everyone from starving.
Not many people know about this, but this is a farmer's secret, a trade secret, you know? I would like to introduce you to our cow farm. Say hello to our cows.
Now, cows aren't the only thing packed into a bunker right now, as this cold war between both Yuri's Elysia and Tamer's Free City has led to many people on each side hiding underground in fear of an all-out conflict breaking out. One group of players in Elysia has taken this to the extreme, having built a full-on nuclear bunker or shelter. We don't want to fight in brain. You have a panic room?
Yeah.
Alarm system. Wait,
it just makes a noise.
Oh,
there you go. We also have a panic button, so when we feel anxious, we just...
It's a stress button.
It's not like we're yabbing anymore.
Where does this go?
That's a fake escape route. You'll fall into the void that way. Don't do that.
Fake escape route.
You just fell.
On a more serious note though, many players in the end are starting to feel stressed due to the tension between both sides. Even Tamer himself is starting to feel the pressure. This rift that's been created between Tamer and Yuri is having far-reaching consequences for the regular folk of the End. Arbonis, the small peaceful nation that's having to deal with Avoma's Rubik's Cube, has had to deal with a nearby settlement named the Celestial Kingdom, a close ally of Yuri's, continually raiding them.
A few members from Celestial came down and demanded that we essentially hand over the island to them.
And they came up and then they were placing down signs claiming that Arbonis now belonged to Celestial.
This island is owned by the Celestial Kingdom.
Yeah, we kept it as a memento.
As to whether Yuri condones this raiding due to Arbonis being a friend of Tamer's, I don't know.
We will be coming to your aid right away. We'll be here if you need us.
But I do know it's having a very negative effect on the local Arbonis citizens.
When I logged on, they took the countertop for my bakery. They just took the
countertop from your bakery.
They took the countertop, they took the barrel with the bread, and they took this set of chairs.
Tamer, seeing how his cold war with Yuri is affecting not only his people, but all the people in the End, is starting to wonder whether his plan is really worth it. Even though removing Yuri would not only eliminate his competition, but help him reach his ambitions quicker by ensuring he has a monopoly on new players joining his nation, he's starting to feel that the cost of the conflict might be so damaging to the unity of the dimension itself that it could risk making them vulnerable to being invaded by other dimensions once the portals open.
We're not here to kill our own people, because there's a bigger war coming than this nonsense. There's a far bigger war coming. We, the End people, at least the intelligent ones, know that we're not alone. There's other dimensions. What are we gonna do when we lose half our army to this nonsense, and they pull up at our dimensions, portals, and threaten to take away what we've built here? We need to be ready.
It's due to thinking about the bigger dimension-wide picture, and a concern for the people it's affecting, that Tamer is now willing to put aside his own personal interests and make peace with Yuri before any kind of proper conflict breaks out. Which is why Tamer has invited Yuri and the other leaders of the End to an actual peace meeting in hopes of making amends.
Yuri, would you please step forward?
The Mighty Nation has been done complete injustice by the recent events. Our people have been killed, our crops have been broken, our animals have been killed, our land has been grieved, and what do we get in return? Nothing. It's just to do justice to the people of Elijah, okay? I don't want anyone killed. I don't want any wars going on. I just want to be repaid for what we did.
If you want, we can provide you with stacks and stacks of food. We have some wonderful bread in the Free Cities.
However, despite Tamer's best intentions, not everyone at the meeting desires peace.
I don't think the End has ever been this level of united, at least in the front of it. To show a sign of, patriotism to the End.
Someone's dropping in. Someone is dropping in.
Yeah, Damager, my man. Damager's a goat. Actual goat.
A player called Takar, likely a loyalist of Yuri, tried to assassinate Tamer with an anvil, but was quickly dispatched by a well-respected Iron Bank employee, Damager.
I would like to publicly knight Damager. I mean, come on, man.
That guy's a monster, dude.
Man, look at that guy.
After knighting the newly appointed Sir Damager for his act of bravery, Tamer resumed the peace meeting.
What I wanted to say right before the clown tried to assassinate me. How about as a sign of patriotism to the End, because we've never been as united, we all now spam glory to the End in the chat. All at once. Glory to the End. Come on. Glory to the End. Glory to the End now.
Glory to the End, ladies and gentlemen.
Glory to the End. I don't think I've ever seen this much of testosterone before in my life. God damn.
With Yuri and Tamer seemingly having made peace, war appears to have been averted, and in an act of good faith, Tamer is now happy to allow Yuri and his people access to the Free City. However, despite all the tensions seemingly having been resolved on the surface, Yuri has other ideas. He simply can't forgive Wilding for the slaughter of his people on day 2, and having had enough, he's planning on getting justice through force the following day. Meanwhile, down in the Nether, Perspective is about to hatch the next step in his plan to take over the Nether by sowing division and chaos between the two leaders, Squiddy and Whale. And to do that, he's going to use Rigatoni and Solar, his two employees who were arrested on day 3 by Whale. However, it's not clear to me what Perspective intends for them to do, because currently they're about to endure their first day of hard labor.
They are going to prove their innocence through meticulous labor today.
But they should be treated relatively well, because Perspective has instructed Squiddy to make sure that they are properly looked after. And because they have their shady business dealings, Squiddy happily obliged. However, Squiddy can't be too lenient with the prisoners though, as Whale is demanding that they receive a more severe punishment for their crimes, and has instructed their head guard the Hat to ensure that the hard labor will involve them working on the Grand Nether Castle build project, defending the city from dangerous mobs. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Tony, run!
And long hours harvesting blackstone in the mines.
Alright, come on guys, you two need to get back in the mines.
It's this conflict of interest between Squiddy and Whale on how the prisoners should be treated that Perspective intends to leverage. Perspective ordered his two employees, Rigatoni and Solar, to murder Whale's head guard, the Hat. Squiddy immediately knew what this now meant. Whale was livid that the Hat had died.
I am fuming.
Not only was he mad at Solar and Rigatoni, but he was furious with Squiddy as his soft approach towards the roofers had led to the death of one of their people. He felt that Squiddy was putting the lives of the roofers before the lives of their people, which in a way he was doing. But as we know, not because of some deep-rooted pacifism, but instead out of protection of his corrupt business interests. And so, with the leadership of the Nether more divided than ever, Whale ordered that the two prisoners be executed immediately.
They're gonna try execute Soul and Rigatoni. We need to go there and we need to save them. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We gotta save our people, okay?
All of you need to see what happens to people who go against me and Squiddy and go against the state. We tried Squiddy's way and sadly Squiddy's way didn't work. No surprises there. And they killed one of our valued members. They killed the Hat. I'm going to give a countdown from 10 and when I hear jump, I better see you jump.
I don't know about this, Whale.
Solar, it's been an honor.
It really has. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What? Hey. What?
Where did the spiders come from? Who did that?
In a move that shocked everyone in attendance, Perspective's roofers dropped Striders from the Nether roof in an attempt to save their comrades from their executions, successfully rescuing Solar from certain death. This fiasco angered Whale even more, since he now blamed Squiddy for both the death of the Hat, but also for the fact that one of the perpetrators had escaped.
I told you what would happen, man. I told you what would happen.
We could have literally just kept them in prison. Something like this never would have happened.
And what? And then killed more and more people. They killed the Hat.
All of these events were starting to make Whale question Squiddy's loyalty to the Nether. Why was he so hesitant to act against the roofers? Is his unwillingness to act purely weakness? Or is there something more sinister at play? Maybe he's working with the roofers against his own people. These were all thoughts that were crossing Whale's mind. The cracks in the Nether leadership were really starting to show. Just as Perspective intended. Meanwhile, in the end, things are heating up as Yuri plans to act against Wilding and by extension tame his free city to get justice for all the citizens of Elysia that were slain on day 2.
I know I said we wanted peace and we were fine with getting food every day, but we all know that's not true. Realistically, I'm speaking for everyone here if we say that we want revenge. I know I said I respect it, but I don't, okay? They killed our people. They stole our food. We're not gonna let that happen again. So I suppose we kill all three of them. The only reason I signed that peace treaty is so we can go into the main island and cross over safely to them. Once we've done that, they're in our hands. We have full control over them. We can decide their fate. Not their god, not them, not the free city, us. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In a covert operation, the Ten Commandments, Yuri's team of elite guards are on their way to exact revenge upon Wilding.
Oh, what are you guys doing here?
Die to come with us.
Oh,
Die. We give up.
you cowards!
Give up, Wilding.
However, they didn't account for one thing. The Iron Guard is ready.
Show them no mercy. Show them no mercy. Go, 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 go.
Run. Retreat.
You cowards coming by and trying to kill us? What the fuck? I thought you guys wanted to negotiate peace after yesterday's meeting. What are you doing? You guys are not running.
No. Keep chasing him. If he doesn't move, you're over chasing him.
Oh, he's
Hit him up. Don't let him feel it. Just, there we go.
Big talent.
Guys, I found Yuri. I'm bringing him.
Bring him over here. Look at that. How the irony, right? Yuri getting dragged by the one person he wanted to kill. I think it's over for you.
Yuri, you've been trying to get this petty revenge on me for the entirety of this event. Yuri, for everyone, for the entirety of the Dimension's sake, walk off the plank now.
Hold on. Before I go, I would like to say one more thing. Can I?
Go ahead.
Screw you.
Oh!
But all the people of the end meet at the front of the Iron Bank. Today was a prosperous day, but most importantly, today was an historical day. A person by the name of Yuri, who came into our lands with his pack of dogs, he got what he deserved. And we all stand here in front of the newly finished Iron Bank and the finished Temple of the Void God. Two ginormous monuments that symbolize what the end stands for. One battle won doesn't make us winners though. We haven't won the war. A bigger war is to come. The Overworld and the Nether. People waiting on the other side just to come over here and take away what we have built. Are we gonna let that happen? We're not letting them take away what we have built up, what we have made. We are the best dimension. We've had hardships, we've had conflict, but we've gone past those. Glory to the end, lads.
Over in the Nether, I decided to go visit Defenders for Life to see how his bar, Hell's Vibes, has been getting along. How's things been going at the bar?
Amazing! If you follow us here and look up, you'll immediately see the logo.
Oh my god.
Yes.
And I was absolutely astonished by the progress he'd made. Oh my god. He'd expanded his business, built a stunning interior, and hired a lot more staff to keep the bar running.
Devin, I need you to make a food run to Netherlands. They need 2 food runs. Yeah, I just got a message that they need 2 food runs.
Throughout the last 6 days, Defenders has kept his promise to the settlements of the Nether, providing them with vital deliveries of mushroom stew to ensure they don't starve.
In fact, we are providing a free mushroom stew to the entirety of the nation.
This, along with his friendly demeanor, had made Defenders a bit of a celebrity in the Nether. His bar was truly indispensable to the survival of the people, and for that, he'd grown very popular.
We'll continue to feed the people for the Nether.
Things weren't perfect in the Nether though, as there was clearly some drastic wealth inequality on display. You see, since the Nether is so unbelievably deadly, and resources are so limited, new players that log on each day have been finding it very hard to acquire resources, and simply unwilling to risk their lives to go mine ore. So, this has made all these new players nearly totally reliant on Quarles & Co. for materials. The owner, Quarles Wonders, has been more than happy to supply these players with items.
So when new players come in, they just go over to this side, and then they're given iron gear.
He's walked in on fire. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a struggle out here in the Nether for the new players.
They're really desperate. However, he knows he simply doesn't have enough resources to keep up the charity forever. Quarles is beginning to understandably feel like the leaders of the Nether, Squiddy and Whale, haven't been doing enough to help these desperate players, instead focusing on the roofers and their own petty rivalry, while Stuffson and himself have been left to do the majority of the real work themselves.
Whale and Squiddy, they have their way of ruling, but they seem to be a lot more focused on competing against each other than they do supplying the people of the Nether. Like, see all these new players that have come in?
Yeah.
They're all abandoned by our leaders. Our leaders aren't focused on them.
Speaking of rivalry between Squiddy and Whale, following the death of the Hat and the escape of Solar, trust between the two of them was at an all-time low. You see, Squiddy was beginning to fear that Whale's strong-armed approach to dealing with the roofers could potentially put the stability of his secret business arrangement with them at risk. So, he spent the day away from Whale, visiting various key factions of the Nether in an attempt to gauge who would support him in the event that this split forces him to raise an army against Whale in order to remove his partner from power.
And I ask you guys for your support today.
If there's anything that you need from us, we'll do it.
This breaking contact from Squiddy quickly started to make Whale paranoid. What was Squiddy up to? Where has he been? Why is he being so secretive?
Squiddy's planning something and I don't know what it is, and I'm not gonna let him get too strong here. I don't know what he's doing, but I just don't like it.
And so, Whale decided that he wouldn't sit idly by while Squiddy did whatever it was that he was doing. Whale intended to take action. In a very similar manner to Squiddy, Whale quietly campaigned around the various settlements of the Nether, rallying groups to support him should things unfold into a civil war.
I was just wondering if anything were to happen, I'd be able to have the support of Quarles & Co.
Well, we would hope that nothing so drastic happens.
No, of course not.
At many of the settlements he visited though, he found that Squiddy had gotten there first, having swayed them to his side against Whale. Most importantly, the Netherlands and the Bar had chosen to join Squiddy.
We are willing to work with Squiddy, we are not willing to work with Whale.
It seems like Squiddy is a much clearer path if we go with him.
Despite having lost these groups to Squiddy, Whale had actually amassed quite a large following of his own. These people were mainly those who believed that Squiddy had been too weak when dealing with the roofers. And so, with both sides having been formed, the stage looked set for an all-out Nether civil war. The question was, who would strike first? And the answer was Whale.
Every chest, guys.
Every single last bit. Oh, he's fighting back.
Fighting.
Bartuni's on me.
Bartuni, get him. Alright.
Utilizing his elite guards led by Multi-Salty, Whale chose to punish the settlements that sided with Squiddy by completely destroying their stockpiles of food, in an act intended to starve them into submission.
Marcus, we're going to starve. The whole of the Nether is going to starve.
The food supply and just all of our storage. They ripped everything.
Immediately after the bombing of the Netherlands and the raid on the Quarles & Co. vault.
Yes, he broke into our vault. I don't understand. What has the Nether come to?
This is why we gotta do something, Quarles.
There was a lot of confusion. Squiddy, along with the majority of the players in the Nether, weren't entirely sure who had ordered it or why. Whale knew that this sabotage wouldn't be enough to bring these settlements to their knees though, as the Bar, which had chosen to side with Squiddy, would send the settlements relief aid. And so, Whale invited defenders to a meeting.
you know, I feel like Gritty and the Netherlands are planning something, and so I was gonna come to you guys at the bar to see if there was any way, you know, you could help me out.
Yeah, I understand that, but my message here still stands: a united Nether. If we don't unify now, the clock's ticking. They're going to come soon. We don't have time for that. And all I care about is getting all of our petty squabbles aside. There is no point in this internal fight, and I would believe that the bar will stay neutral. With these thoughts in mind, I cannot be here for much longer.
Well, on that note,
I understand that.
I've been talking to, you know, your second in command, Bookmark, and I think we've come to a slightly better agreement. So on that note.
Defenders for Life, the owner of the Hell's Vibes bar and pillar of the community, was murdered by Whalefins. You see, Whalefins had made a deal with Defenders' second in command, Bookmark, where Whale would kill Defenders and promote Bookmark to owner of the bar.
So with him off the table, Bookmark, I look forward to see what we can get done.
In return for which, Bookmark would stop the relief run supplying mushroom stew to all the settlements that support Squiddy.
We're cutting the supply completely.
Effectively cutting off their only food supply and putting them all on the brink of starvation, simply for the crime of going against him. In the overworld, news of Race Champ's nearing invading army has reached the ears of Henry's Mongolian Khanate, and they aren't optimistic, knowing that Race Champ's forces of both Aaron and Gaia far outnumber their own. In fact, some of Henry's people have become so disheartened and scared that they've abandoned their Mongolian ways altogether. Sadly, the Raccoons and the River Guild are too fearful of Race Champ to come to Henry's aid. And so, Henry and what's left of his loyal Mongolians are on their own, with Race Champ's army quickly approaching. But what Race Champ doesn't know is that Henry doesn't intend to go down without a fight.
That's them. Right, hold here. That's them, isn't it? These gentlemen want to put an end to our culture, to our way of life, to everything we've come to love. Race Champ hired assassins to try and kill me, and when that failed, he decided he'd declare war. We're outnumbered 10 to 1. There's no chance that we're going to come back, and there's no chance that we're going to live through this. However, as the ancient Latins used to say in the lays of ancient Rome, then out spake brave Horatius, the captain of the gates, to every man upon this earth death cometh soon or late. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temple of his gods? Gentlemen, I say, with Mongolian culture, let it come to an end when every last one of us lays in a pool of our own blood.
Blood for blood!
And speaking of which, gentlemen, I have one more question. Gentlemen, what makes the grass grow? Blood. Remember, chaps, we're here for a good time, not a long time. I'll see you in hell, chaps! Here they are! He's an enemy. Kill him. Slaughter them. There they are. They're coming. Over there. Go for Grace. There's Grace jumping.
Yeah!
Oh my God. Run, burn. Oh my God. Go on, chaps.
Following Henry's death, Race Champ announced to the remaining Mongolians that he would spare them if they throw down their weapons and surrender. But it was a lie. They were executed anyway, to prevent the public from learning of his conspiracy. So most of the Mongolians went down swinging like their leader.
Wolfram, sir. Wolfram, sir. Wolfram, sir.
We don't accept surrender. Go to the end. Fight to the end.
Until there were none left. Racechamp has successfully prevented knowledge of his conspiracy from getting out, now having free reign over the entire overworld, and Henry's Mongolian civilization is over. It's day 6, and now that Yuri is gone from the end, the Sunseekers, Arbonis, and especially Tamer's Free City are thriving. Now that they aren't distracted by the threat of a potential war with Elysia, the Free City builders have been able to complete Tamer's long-awaited goal of constructing the Iron Bank, and it looks absolutely incredible. All that remains for Tamer to achieve his goal of opening the bank for business is to deploy the Iron Guard. Each of which he will task with a very specific job to ensure that the bank is both secure and flawlessly efficient.
Iron Guard, you've been picked, alright? You are the elite, you are the Iron Guard, and your entire job is going to be protecting the treasury and getting sent out in the most dangerous missions there are, alright? Let's go over. You two are going to be solely there to protect the entrance of the Iron Bank and protect Damager. He's the main teller here, right? He knows what he's doing. Viper, you're going to stand here menacingly for now, right? Don't move a muscle. If I stand here staring at you, right? Smelling the sweat coming down from his forehead. You're not looking away, right? You're looking in front. What is your job, Viper? What is your job?
Stand here with menacing.
You bet. Viper, you're a bitch. You know me? You're a bitch.
Yes, sir.
Was that Jeep? I trust you with this job, alright? You have a very, very important job. Can I trust you there, Jeep?
Yes, sir.
Can I trust you? Good. You're gonna stand here. Any sound of any block you hear that's getting broken, any mining sound, any eating, any breathing, alright? You're gonna go ballistic, alright? And instantly fall in love, alright? No one breaks in this vault. Is the Iron Guard set up then? Does everyone have a position?
Yes, sir. We are bitches, sir.
Lovely, lovely.
And they really take their job seriously. I've honestly never seen such a disciplined force in a Minecraft event before.
We are not able to talk during duty, sir.
The Iron Bank generates wealth for Tamer and his employees in two main ways, through deposits and investments. When depositing their valuables in the vault, to keep their items safe, players pay a 20% commission fee to the bank, which is paid directly to Damager, the main teller, who distributes it amongst the staff. The second and most important way the bank generates wealth is through investments. Players can choose to give their valuables to the bank to invest into various player-owned businesses. These businesses will take the player's investments and use them to grow, benefiting the entire end while also paying back interest to the investors, making them and the bank wealthier. The Iron Bank is finally open. Meanwhile, down in the Nether, no one realized that defenders had been slain. However, it wasn't long until word reached Squiddy that their food supply from the bar had stopped completely.
So, I think I've heard correctly. Have the bar stopped sending food?
And so, Squiddy marched off to the bar to investigate.
Hey, Squid.
Hey, Squid. Buddy.
Hey, Squid.
Hey, guys. Look, there's no reason for all of you to be aiming a bow at me or something. Jesus.
Wait, you guys didn't aim a bow at the guy who killed our CEO, but like, okay, Squiddy, yeah, okay, that's where we draw the line. No, okay.
Your defender died?
Your partner killed him. Partner.
So, it turns out that after learning that their CEO defenders had been killed by Whale, the employees had risen up and expelled Bookmark from the bar and rejected Whale's offer to join him.
Whale has asked us to join him. We declined.
And after organizing the bar staff to get the mushroom stew deliveries back on track, he knew he had to act against Whale now.
Everybody needs to come. We're meeting in the Netherlands. It's happening.
It was there, in the Netherlands fort, whilst rallying his followers, that Squiddy heard the startling news that Whale intends to coronate himself in the Grand Nether Castle as the sole ruler of the Nether. And so, Squiddy laid out his plan to confront Whale to his people.
Whale has decided that he is going to coronate himself as the leader of the Nether. Many of you have lost friends and have been killed due to his tyranny. For the Nether, because we have conquered this land. For the Nether, because we have gone through virtues that nobody knows. I ask you all to follow me. Follow me to Whale's death and follow me to a better Nether. What do you say? What do you say, boys? What do you say? Let's do it.
This is for Defender, everyone.
This is for Defender. Are y'all ready to march? Are y'all ready to go? Are we ready to go? Viva la Nether! For the Nether!
Wow. How rude of them to interrupt my coronation.
Why is Defender dead, Whale? Why is he dead?
Every time you've made a decision, every single time you've made a decision, I've had to go on clean-up duty. Oh, let's invite the two roofers down. Oh no, they killed someone. Let's look to Finn to sort this out. Oh no, they're destroying all our stuff. Let's look to Finn to sort it out. Every single problem we've had in this nation, it's been up to old whale fins over here to go on clean-up duty.
Old whale fins to clean it up. Whale, I was the one that put you in the position that you're in. Do you not remember? Do you not remember that I was the one that talked to everybody because you were intolerant, Whale? Why did over 50 people follow me in here, Whale? You want to know why 50 people followed me in here?
That's what you do. You only talk. I'm surrounded by people that are action makers.
Let's make it an action then, Whale. Let's make it an action. Let's do something about it, Whale. Well, let's go.
Come on, then.
Me and you.
Everyone move out my way. Let's see how much of an action maker you can really be.
Really well. I'm being murdered! Please don't murder me! This is not how it's supposed to go.
For many in the Nether, the deaths of both Squiddy and Whale felt like a great sense of relief. Like a huge weight has been lifted off their shoulders. Maybe now that they're gone, the fighting can stop, and the Nether can finally unify. But what they don't know is that this was the final step in Perspective's sinister plan to remove Squiddy and Whale from power so that he can take control of the Nether. Meanwhile, in Race Champ's overworld, things are bleak. The Mongolians that fled in cowardice before Henry's valiant cavalry charge have been enslaved.
The war was done. We realized we had nowhere to go.
In return for keeping their lives, they are being forced to collect Race Champ resources, arm his military, and construct huge defenses around his home city of Aurin, in preparation for the opening of the portals. The homes of the Raccoons and the River Guild players are empty, with those that are alive having fled underground. Some are hoping that once the other dimensions open, they can flee, to find freedom once again, while other players pray that either the Nether or the End will invade the overworld, liberating them from Race Champ's tyranny. You may ask, but why don't the citizens of Aurin and Gaia rise up against Race Champ? How can they be alright with what he's done to Henry's Mongolians? Well, that's because they've been fed a different story by their leader. Race Champ and his second-in-command Nyx Lunari have fed them lies, claiming that Henry attacked Aurin entirely unprovoked, with Race Champ himself sweeping in and wiping out the invading Mongols as the savior of the overworld. When I asked the people of Aurin what they thought of the situation, they strongly defended the propaganda lie that they've been fed. He declared war because you tried to assassinate him.
Well,
No, we did not.
not necessarily.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We did not. That is a misinformation.
Really? They truly believe what they've been told.
I'm genuinely telling the truth right now.
Only Race Champ and Nyx Lunari know the truth. Only they know of the conspiracy that led to the massacre of the Mongolians.
Henry started the war.
It seems Race Champ will never face justice for what he's done. It is now day 7, and an apocalyptic panic has gripped the players across all 3 dimensions. Because in an hour from now, the portals will open, allowing the dimensions to invade each other and wage an all-out interdimensional war. In the overworld, Race Champ has summoned every player to defend his home nation of Aurin, whether they like it or not. He's forcing the surviving Mongolians, Raccoons, and River Guild players to fight on the front lines for the survival of his capital, while he himself hides on the fortifications. Meanwhile, in the end, in the face of the coming crisis, Tamer has selflessly opened the vault of the Iron Bank to the people. He has instructed his employees to hand out the bank's valuables to end citizens for free, in order to equip them with weapons and armor, in hopes of protecting the dimension he loves from annihilation. However, in the Nether, unlike Tamer, Perspective has no intention of providing for the people. In fact, he sees the inbound apocalypse as an opportunity.
Marcus, I was holding this away from you for quite a while, but it's finally time to reveal my final plan. The final move from the roofers, okay?
But what is this plan he's talking of? Well, to finally achieve the goal he's been working so hard to obtain over the last 6 days. The goal that's finally in reach now that both leaders of the Nether are dead, and a crisis has presented itself. These 2 events have created the perfect storm that will allow him to seize control of the Nether in order to obtain ultimate power, wealth, and control of the dimension.
Hello, everybody of the Nether. You've probably seen us a couple times before. We came down from the roof because today is the day that the invasions are gonna happen.
Lads, listen up. This is our home here. This is our homeland. This is our dimension. We built this, the free city, and all of it around.
I need the most confident PvPers, the best of the best, crazy, reckless bastards. I'm gonna get you guys equipped. I'm gonna get you guys stacked out the wazoo, and we're gonna go ravage the dimensions today, okay?
We've built alliances, we've created this giant nation, this giant stronghold, disciplined till the last breath, right?
Duffson are gonna be, they have like strategy and shit, okay? We here do not have strategies. We're out there to destroy everyone. That's why we're here, okay?
We have the best army, we have the best leadership, we have the best equipment, we have the best strategies backing us up, we have everything we could ask for.
We have the best gear, we have the best stuff, we have the best fighters, the most confident, insane team. If anyone is going to win, it's going to be the Nether.
And yet, we need to give more than 100% to fight for this land.
Let me ask you a question. What will we do when we go to the other dimensions? What will we do? We kill, baby! We kill it all! I want to see it. What are we going to do to the other dimensions? We kill, baby! We kill! Yes, sir!
If you're ready to die for the dimension, then you're right here. For the end, glory to the end, hoorah! Look at that, hoorah! Hoorah! Come on, lads.
However, the End need not be ready for battle, as the Nether has a different target.
We're about to go rush. Overworld is going down. 3, 2, 1.
Keep the flame burning, baby! We're gonna kill them all!
Kill everybody from the overworld that you see. Everybody! Rush the walls, rush through the walls, through the walls. We're killing all of them! We lost like 5 people! Keep going! They ran out of the city! They abandoned their city! We win! We win!
The overworld has been utterly decimated by Perspective's Nether army, using their superior netherite armor and powerful strength potions. Race Champ and many other overworld citizens have fled the battle in an attempt to save themselves. Perspective has successfully conquered Auron. In the end, Tamer is fearing the worst. He knows that now the overworld has been defeated, the Nether will have access to their abundance of diamonds, which will allow them to craft even more netherite armor, making them an even bigger threat.
They have netherite, the nether people. When they kill all the diamond people in the overworld, they will have 100 people with netherite. It's not good. It's not a good situation. Plus they have pots.
He's been considering an armed invasion of the overworld to confront the Nether army. However, he's had a change of heart and has come up with a different plan. And he better hope that this plan of his succeeds, as Perspective plans to complete his conquest of every dimension by invading the final bastion of resistance against him. The end.
Alright, splash, everybody now! Splash! Go, 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 go! Right, gentlemen! This is it!
Are they grouped up? Are they on the same fucking team? Yeah, what?
Are you ready to kick some fucking nether ass?
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert time.
Oh my god, there's so many people fighting. This is mental.
Funky Chinaman from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them down.
Anybody red, kill them.
They were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part. From a fainting
Oh shit! I need help!
Let's kill one of us.
I don't know where. I don't know where. What wall is towards where Tamer is?
Alright, okay, Blitters, go.
I'm not my squad. Charge front temple. I'm not my squad. Charge front temple. Tamer's dying. Go. Kill every single other person you see. Charge right in. Head first.
Go.
Charge.
Are they actually?
Come on.
In fact, it was a little bit further.
You know me, squad. Down the stairs, Franco.
I'm wondering perspective.
Thank you, Mando surrendered. The Mando surrendered. Oh, wait, no. Spam the end. Come on. The end.
Let the remaining live. Let the remaining live. Let the remaining live.
In the aftermath of Perspective's death, what remained of the Nether surrendered, and Tamer ordered his divisions to stand down to spare as many players as possible. Those Nether players that survived the battle were arrested and taken to the Grand Temple of the Void God, where they were tried for their crimes against the Dimensions. However, the Nether isn't the only dimension that Tamer served justice to, as he'd learned of the cruel crimes RaceJam had committed against Henry's Mongolians. And so, Tamer, hearing of these treacherous actions, summoned the Iron Guard, ventured into the overworld, and arrested RaceJam. It was quite a spectacle. As he was being taken away, all the people of the overworld made their opinions known, especially Quack, the leader of the raccoons, who had survived the battles by hiding in his tunnels.
Yeah. As a raccoon, you know I stay around trash a lot, and like, you're stinky, but not in a good way, because I usually like trash, because it's stinky. But you stink in like a bad way, so that's like really bad.
And so, the Iron Guard under Tamer led RaceJam back to the end and down through the Iron Bank towards the vault.
Anything I did, anything I've been accused of, and I know this sounds cliche as hell, but I only did it for the people. And I'd also let you to know, Nix, who told you this stuff, is equally guilty as I am.
You're right.
Tamer,
follow me.
I was
You talked enough, RaceJam. Follow me. Welcome to your new home.
Even though Henry's Mongolians are nothing but a memory, they finally got their justice. A lot of damage was done during the battle. Items were looted, property was destroyed, hundreds of lives were lost. But sympathetically, Tamer and the other surviving Free City leaders chose to give away what was left of the fortune amassed by the Iron Bank in order to help fund the reconstruction of the Dimensions. In the Nether, Hell's Vibes, with the help of Iron Bank Investments, was officially reopened under the ownership of Devon, one of Defenders for Life's well-respected employees. The Sunseekers, the nation in the end who'd been longing to see the sun since day one, finally got their wish.
The sun! Everyone look up! We have finally arrived! The sun!
However, it was bittersweet, as their leader German had died in battle and never got to see the sun himself. Memories of the many battles he's fought and the hard work he's put in to manage not only the reconstruction of the end, but of each dimension, weighs heavily on Tamer. The Iron Bank continues to be the centerpiece of trade and investment. The Free City is still a thriving home to hundreds of players. The Grand Temple still holds popular religious sermons to the Void God, and both the Overworld and the Nether, that once knew tyranny, are finally at peace. And yet, these victories feel somewhat hollow to Tamer, as most of the End leadership, his friends, were killed fighting beside him. Cultipress, the head of the Free City Farmers, Damager, the main teller of the Iron Bank, and Power Oni, who had been Tamer's right-hand man from the very start, all gave their lives defending the Free City against Perspective. And with their absence came the clarity that having limitless personal ambition can have dire effects on those around you, leading to nothing but mass ruin. However, he's also learned that having wealth and power can be used for mass good, as long as you eliminate your inner selfishness and carefully consider the impact your ambition has on those around you. And so, almost with a sense of relief, Tamer chose to give away what was left of his wealth to the people, and handed over ownership of the Iron Bank and Free City to those that had been most faithful to the people of the End. And it's there that our story ends. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Have a great day. Bye bye.